Hello and how are you? My name is Mahino Bark, and in this video I'm going to showcase to you the fast development progress for the National Seed Tracking and Tracing System of Uganda. So I hope you're ready to do this with me. If you are, then let's get started. So in the very first place, if you want to access the site, you just simply go to your browser and put there this link, STTS 1.8technologies.net. That is where you can access this system, okay? And you'll be able to see this page. So to access the real system, you need an access level. You need to log in. So once you log in, then it's when you'll be able to do anything in the system. But to log in, you need to have a certain access level, and that access level is the one that will allow you to perform different actions on what in the system. So before we proceed, let us first look at different access levels that we have so far created for the system, and then we'll come and log into the system. So here are the access levels that we so far created. Of course, we expect more to come as the system goes ahead with development, but so far these are the ones that we have. The super admin. This is the one that the super admin is the access level that can enable someone to do anything in the system, like all the roles, has all the roles to delete anything and modify anything. Then you have the administrator, which is the commissioner or the owner of the system, and this one can manage the remaining user roles in the system. Then you have basic user. This is a user who has just created the account and has no any other access in the system. And then we have the inspector. The inspector is the one who will be inspecting or reviewing the forms that have been submitted. Of course, we might not get the idea or the concept of the inspector, but we'll explain and you'll understand it as we proceed. So far these are the roles that we have created, and we expect more to come. So let us begin by testing these ones. So let's go ahead and log in into the superadmin and we see what superadmin can do. So to test a superadmin account, you just simply put this superadmin username and the password as they are indicated here. So I'll come here into the system, which is here, and put the username, which is superadmin, and my password. I've already put it, and then I click on login. So if I don't have an account, I can go ahead and create a basic account by clicking on register, but we'll explain that later. So I'll go ahead and log in as a super administrator to process, and then allow me to proceed into the system, and there the system is. So I'm going to explain main sections in the system. So here we have this main button where you can click on to access the main dashboard of the system. Then you have here where you can collapse the menu and expand it, and then you have here where you can log out and or edit your profile, and then you have this button where you can refresh the page without refreshing the where you can refresh the page without loading the whole page, like refreshing the content here. Then you have this left hand side menu, and that's where we will find almost every action that you'll need to perform in the system. So as you can see, we have landed on dashboard when you logged in, and here in dashboard you'll put important summaries like the graphs, the charts, and the handy things that are so interesting for someone to see when he lands into onto the system. But since these things or the summaries on dashboard depend on data, it always comes last, because we first collect data, then we do what? We present the summaries. So this summary of the main dashboard will come last. Otherwise, you should know that the summaries will be here on the main dashboard. Then you have application forms, but before come to application forms, let me first explain these others. You have the media. So then the super admin will be able to control all the media that have been uploaded to the system. Then you have my profile, and this is where a super admin can edit their profile, like changing their password, changing their names. It is on this my profile. And then you have admin. So this super admin is where we'll be managing everything in the system. For example, uh, assigning roles to users, creating roles, permissions, modifying the menu, and checking the errors that in the system, seeing the operations and how they're being performed in the system, all those will be under here, and this is where the super admin will be accessing from. For example, if someone's logs in, the super admin will be able to see here. If someone's created an account, the super admin will be able to see those roles, those actions into here. So this is the administrative panel. This is the administrative portion or part, and it will be played by the super admin. I'll not explain there much because it is the work of the system administrator or the super admin. So let us go now to our own business. So our own business will mainly lie here under application forms so far, and here it is where we'll find the SR forms. We have created two and completed them. So I'm going to begin by clicking on seed merchant form, which is SR4. Okay, so if you click on SR4, as a super administrator, I'll be able to access these things, and if I click on seed grow, I'll be able to access these forms. But this is a super administrator account. Let us log in into the administrator account, and we see what the administrator can do. Okay, but this is the super admin, so we don't have much to do here because the main administrator or the super admin. So let us log in as a commissioner and see what the commissioner can do. So I'll log out this account, and then it will take me to the main page where I can log in, and I'm going to log in as a commissioner. So here is where you get the credentials. The username for commissioner is admin, and the password is 4321. So I'll go ahead and log in as admin, and the password as 4321, and then I click on login. Then I'm going to see what I can see. So this is what the commissioner will be seeing. For example, you see the commissioner cannot manage roles, but if it is requested, like the commissioner to be able to manage roles and play with the system, of course we can go ahead and allow them. So this is what the commissioner will be able to see. They can edit their profile as just explained. So the main part here is the SR forms. Okay, so let us begin the SR forms that we have accomplished. So as administrator, when they log in, they'll be able to access the SR forms, and this is, for example, SR4 form. Okay, so when this is the SR4 form. So as you can see here, there is only a single form that has been submitted. How about have its status, will have its when it starts and when it will expire, and when it was created, and then the address of the person, and then the inspector, if there is a assigned inspector to inspect this form. So this is just a form that we created while testing, but I'm going to walk you through and we see the procedures that are taken while creating a form. So let's go ahead and log in as a basic user, and you see how the basic user can create the form, get verified, and if halted, get the notification and go ahead and modify the form with a reason, all that. So let us go ahead and create a basic user account, and you see the procedures that are taken when creating a basic form, in SR forms. Okay, so here you'll find the administrator can see this, and you can also see the SR4 forms at this point. Okay, so let's go ahead and create a basic user account and do what, and see what it takes to go into the procedures of creating a form. So I'm going to open another browser, a different browser, so I can remain here logged in as an administrator, and in the other browser I log in as a basic user. So this is another browser. Okay, this is Google Chrome, of course, and this is Opera Mini. So I'm going to, in this Opera Mini, I'm going to register as a basic user. So I'll copy the link and paste it here. Of course, if I'm not logged in, I'll be kicked out and be taken to the login page. So this is the login page. It's loading. Okay, I'm on the loading page. My internet is slow, so the image can load slowly, as you can see. So let us assume that I'm a new user. I don't have any idea, I just know the system exists and what it does, but I don't have any access to the system, and I want to create a basic user account so I can apply either to become a seed merchant or a seed grower, etc. So let me go ahead and we see what it takes. So here, of course, I'll need username and password. So if I don't have, you see, if you don't have an account, you can register here. So I'm going to click on register so I can proceed and create an account. So I'll click on register. I'll be redirected to the registration page, and this is the registration page. Of course, they'll ask me to enter my my name. For example, let me say I'm called John, and the last name is Doe, and my email is maybe what should I put? Let me put what? Let me put basic, okay? basic@gmail.com. So I'm logging in as a basic user. I'm creating the account as a basic user, and the password will be 4321. Let me take that one, and then I register. So that's how someone creates an account. So when I click on register, it should process and log me in. There's some error. Let me fix it. There was an error. I've fixed it. Okay. So I've just created a basic user account, and this is what the basic user will be seeing. So I would like you to get the difference. You see what the super user admin can access and what the basic user admin can access. So I mean what the basic user can access. Okay. So can you see super admin has access to my media, has access to user roles, but here you only access to what? To their own profile and the forms. Okay, so we'll be allowing these people to access specific things that they've done that we really want them to do. Okay, so let's go ahead and we see what the basic user can do. So if you click here, of course the basic user can do what? Can apply forms. So here I'll put the summary of course of what the basic user has to see. So let us click on seed merchant form. So as you can see, this basic user cannot see any form. Why? Because they have not created one. And here I have seed grower. Of course, this is where they'll be seeing their seed grower forms. So let's go ahead and click on seed merchant form, which is SR4, and then we try to create one. Okay, maybe applying to become a what? A seed merchant. So of course here there was a new where the user can use that button to create a new form. So let's go ahead and create a new form. So I'll click there. Of course here I'm just logged in as as a basic user. So I'll come here. They're the question that I asked when you're requesting to become a seed merchant. So I'll do it faster and just put some dummy content while I'm selecting while I'm feeding these questions. Okay, so I can maybe say I want to become a seed merchant to have experience in seed growing, and then here I'll select the options. So if there's no option, I can click on other, and then they'll give me a place where I can specify. Maybe if I don't have one, I can click on other, and then I can specify. Okay, so maybe I can add here some stuff. For example, I have land. I can say 12 acres, and equipment. Maybe I have a tractor, and do you have any implement? Yes, no, yes. Okay, I'll just put some data here just for testing. I have a supplier, so he'll list for me the suppliers which are there. Maybe basic seed, yes, no, okay, yes. I can upload here a receipt. For example, they're asking for a receipt. Then I click here, select a file. I can choose a file from my computer to test as a receipt. Let me choose this one. Okay, choose that one. Okay, I hope that is a receipt, and then I can accept the declaration, and then I submit. So since there is a file to be uploaded, it may be a little bit slow, but that's what it takes. Oh, there's some error again. There was a problem when I was importing this SQL, but I'm going to fix that error. Of course, I have to expect errors as long as the system is still under development, but that error, I realized it, I'm going to fix it, and I've fixed it. Okay, so we can see here that I've created an SRF form, and this is how me, the basic user, can see an SRF form. I can see its status, I can see the time to take, it has taken when I created it, when it will expire, and then it has been created, it was created, the person who created it, the address, also the inspector. So if this form is not assigned to any inspector, I have ability to do what? To perform some actions like editing it and deleting. Okay, if I want to see the details, I just click on show, and then I'll get the details of this form. Okay, so let's go ahead and log in as what, as administrator, and assign this form to an inspector, so that that inspector should be able to inspect this form. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. I'll just simply come to the system, and then here I'm logged in as what, as administrator. So I'm going to refresh a little bit. Okay, and then if I refresh as administrator, you can see I've got a new form that is on pending. Okay, this is the form that was there before, but this is the new one. So if I just click here, I can refresh the page without loading it all, and I get the updates that have been made, and I can sort according to the status of the forms. I can sort according to uh, to the IDs. I can sort according to the date, etc. So let me go ahead and assign this pending form. So here I'm logged as administrator, so my task is to assign the forms to existing inspectors. Okay, so I'm going to assign this form to what, to an inspector, so that they can be able to do what, to inspect this form. So let's go ahead and edit this form. So as administrator, I have ability to do what, to edit the form. So when I'm editing the form, what I'll do, of course I'm an administrator, so I cannot modify the entire information on the form. Only I can assign it. Okay, so you can see only the basics of the form, and I have ability to set it as pending or under inspection. So when I click on under inspection, I'll get a field where they'll ask me to enter the what, the inspector. So if I click here, I have ability to what, to enter inspector. But of course we don't have so far we don't have a what, we don't have any inspector in the system. So let's go ahead and create the inspector, a single inspector in the system, so we can be able to assign inspectors. Right now we do have other types of users but don't have inspector. So let's create an inspector. So to create an inspector, let me log in. I have to log in as a what, as a super admin, so I can be able to create an inspector. But still inspector can be created and then be assigned as a what, as inspector. So these user roles will be given to what, to the normal admin, so that they should have ability to do what, to create other user types. So I'll come here as administrator. I click on what, on users. Okay, so I'm showing you like there is another possibility of creating a what, creating a user. You can see here we have all the users. So I'm going to create another user, call him inspector. So a user can either register themselves or register them. So username, I'm going to call him inspector, and name, maybe I can put that one. I can give this user what, a photo, and the password I'm going to keep it 4321, and the password I'll re-enter it, and then I'm going to give this user a role of what, of the inspector. Okay, so this user will have ability just to be inspecting the forms. So I'm going to submit. Okay, and this user will be created as what, as inspector. So you have now at least one inspector. You can create as many as possible. Now if you come back to SR4s, I hope the super admin has ability also to modify the SR4 forms, because the super admin has all the roles. Okay, so you see this form is pending, so I want to edit it. Of course, if you're not a basic user, cannot modify the what, the form, only can only assign it. Okay, so I'm going to come here and set it as what, as under inspection, and select the inspector. You can see now we have a single inspector because we've just added this inspector, but before we do not have the one. So I'll select this one to become the inspector of the other form. So I'll submit, and now you can see this form has changed the status to under inspection. Okay, and you can see the person who has been assigned to this form. So once this form is assigned to what, to inspector, I'm going to log in as an inspector in the inspector's account, so I can be able to go and inspect to inspect what the user submitted and see if it is right, and I either halt the form or accept the form. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. I'll log out this account and log in as what, as inspector. I hope you're getting the concept. So I'll log in as inspector, username and password, and then I click on login. So there the inspector is. So you can see also the inspector is limited. He cannot access everything, but he can access the forms, and you can click on SR forms. And I would like you to notice one thing, like if you're not a basic user, you cannot create a what? You cannot create a new form. Only basic users can inspect and create forms, but inspectors and administrators have no ability. Okay, so you can see this inspector can see what the forms that he can only see form that he inspects. He cannot see all the forms. You see, we're having two forms, but this inspector sees only one form. Why? Because it has been assigned to that inspector that he should inspect that form. Okay, so let's go ahead and inspect and see what the inspector can do on this form. Okay, so I click here and then edit. You can see the inspector cannot delete a form. He cannot edit a form. I mean, he cannot delete a form, but he can only see it and delete it, because that's what they're supposed to do. They cannot delete forms, so they don't have ability. So I'm going to click on edit. But before we see what inspector can do, now the form is under inspection. Let's come back to the normal user account and try to refresh. Of course, the form is under inspections, as you can see here, but he cannot do what? He cannot also edit or delete the form. Why? Because it's under inspection. Okay, that is what the basic user can see. They cannot edit or delete the form because it's under inspection. So let's refresh here. Okay, so that's the form. You don't need to be refreshing the whole page. You just need to click here and then the whole page will do what? Will refresh. Okay, so now the inspector can go and inspect that what? The form, and then he can now decide either to halt, okay, the form. I mean to halt this form. So he can reject it, he can accept it. So when you accept, he has to set the validity of this form. Okay, and if we set to be expired, this form will have to be set as expired at the moment. So I'm going to halt it. So if we halt it, we'll have to give a reason. Maybe receipt not submitted, receipt not submitted correctly, or whatever. So we halt it. Okay, so if we halt it and update the status of this form, now on the side, now this form is halted. Now on the side, you see this user couldn't manage anything on this form, the basic user, but here if we refresh, now you can see the status of the form has been halted, and now has ability to maybe edit and get the reason why the form was halted. Okay, so that's it. Now let's go ahead and accept this form. So when you click on accept, so I have to edit and then come to do what? Maybe to accept this form, and then we can give it the validity. Maybe it's going to be valid for 1 year. So I accept it. So the inspector can set the date when this form will do what? Will expire. Maybe it will expire in October 2022 or in November 2022, and then set it as what? As accepted. So this form is accepted, and you can see here its status and then when it will expire. So now if this user comes and refresh the system, we will now have ability to see the form that has been accepted, but it cannot manage anything about this about this form. You can see the form has been accepted, and they can do what? And you can now access the features, or what the possibilities of what of a seed merchant, what the seed merchant can perform in the system. Then they'll be activated. So likewise, you can create a new form, but if your form, you have any form that is accepted, would not allow you to do what? To create another form. So that is what we've created so far, and that's the progress so far. And we have finished also SR6, the seed grower form logic. The whole of it is done, but it is almost the same as what? As a seed merchant logic. So I'll not go ahead and explain it. You can just relate, and the steps are the same. So that's how far we've gone for the first week. Progress. And thank you for watching up this point. I'll not go beyond here, only that if you want to access the credentials, you can access them on this document that I'll share with you. And if you want to access the system, you can access on this link. So let us meet in the next video where we will explain the next progress. And thank you for watching. Until then.